Good evening. Welcome to the workshop session of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Groom. We have a quorum present with council members McKenzie, Karn, and Gay. So we will go ahead and get started.
First agenda item is a public hearing for condemnation for property located at 4122 Herschel Road. Madam Mayor, I would like to make a statement. Staff recommends using the same public comment guidelines as those followed during the regular session agenda. This includes allowing 3 minutes per person for comments if council so chooses.
Okay, is that the will of the body?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward with a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous amongst those present.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council.
Good afternoon.
I'm Wallace Washington with Denmark Ashby Metrocati. We're here to consider a resolution to condemn property at 4122 Herschel Road in College Park, Fulton County, Georgia. It's approximately 21.6 acres for the necessity of constructing a College Park Botanical Gardens.
Is that all you have, Mr. Washington?
Well, we feel that it's necessary for this property to be condemned. We have negotiated with the owners. We've conducted an appraisal. We invited the owners to come out while the appraisal being conducted or to ask the appraiser any questions. We have negotiated in good faith. The appraisal came back at a certain amount. We've made an offer above and beyond that amount, and we have not been able to negotiate a settlement. We have posted on the property that this meeting was going to be held today. We have properly served and notified the owners. They do have local counsel that is here, a representative that does want to make a comment. We feel that we fulfilled all of our legal obligations to move forward with this resolution, and therefore, after 31 days, we'd like to file a petition for condemnation. We feel that it is necessary and proper, and it is for a proper public use, which will be generated within the next 5 years and serve a purpose for at least 20 years as required by state law. If anyone have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those.
Any questions for Mr. Washington? Apparently none. All right, so at this time, I'll declare the public hearing open. So those who wish to speak may do so at this time.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
I don't know necessarily the procedure for this, but if there's any way I could get more than 3 minutes, I don't imagine going more than 10, but 3 seems very short. If not, I will try to keep it brief.
They decided you got 3, so.
Okay. Well, here goes nothing. My name is Ashlyn Hutton. I represent the property owner, as stated earlier. Our law firm actually does a lot of work with cities for condemnation projects. Specifically, we do all of the MARTA condemnation work. We also do various other city projects. And I say that so that you understand that the place that I'm coming from is a place of understanding about how this process works. However, there are things that are highly unusual about the proposed condemnation that we wanted to bring forward to the City Council's attention to see if we can resolve it before this needs to go to a condemnation. First and foremost, my understanding just from speaking with the city's attorney is that this is for a botanical garden. However, my understanding is also that the city has already leased 40 acres from Fulton County for 50 years and has plans for 32 of those acres. We have seen no plans, have been provided no concept designs, overlays, anything that shows what our client's property is needed for as part of the botanical gardens. That is highly unusual for a property to be condemned without any project plans whatsoever. I think that's a lacking of public purpose that is required to be showed if a condemnation is filed and is a basis for a set-aside. We do not want to have to file a set-aside, but we have been successful in a set-aside with the city of Peachtree Corners, for instance, last year, where they did not have plans for the taking of our client's property. So again, that is something that we want to avoid and we want to understand before the city moves forward. The second thing is I have, try to hand this out quickly, a timeline of the negotiations for your information and consideration. I'll pass these. This timeline shows that the appraisal was conducted on August 6th, 2025 by the appraiser. The city's letter inviting the property owner to visit the site with the appraiser, which is a statutory requirement under Georgia law, is August 20th, after the date of the appraisal. That is not in keeping with Georgia law. The site visit actually occurred on August 29th. That is the date that the appraisal was submitted to the city. Again, that's odd in our experience. We have never had an appraisal conducted and submitted on the same day of a site visit. The city sent an email with the offer, not through any official means or letter, but through a broker contact who had no official connection with the city, again for a little over the offer, $1.75 million, as opposed to the $1.54 million. That offer was countered within 6 days on September 8th for $3 million, which is below the current listed price of the property. The notice of condemnation resolution is via letter dated September 12th. We never received confirmation denying our counteroffer until the 17th.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'd like to yield 3 minutes to the counselor.
All right.
Excuse me, point of order.
It works the same way as public comment. So if he wanted to
Which is
speak.
exactly my point. He didn't sign up. You don't just jump up and yield time. That's not how we work.
No one signed up for a public hearing. There was no sign up for a public hearing. Or was there?
There was a sign up for 7:30 on the podium.
Right. There was no sign up for the public hearing. So she can have up to 9 minutes if people yield time. You have 6 minutes. If I see 2 people, Ms. McPhillips, or I'm sorry, Ms. Lunsford, are you yielding time to her?
Sure, I will yield my time as well.
All right, so you've got 6 minutes.
Thank you. I really appreciate that to the fellow residents. Again, it is odd, and it is actually against the statutes for a notice of resolution to go out before even a response is made to a counteroffer. We have never seen that happen. This technically follows the statute in that this hearing is heard after the date of posting within the time required by law. However, we have had less than a month to negotiate with the city for a project that we have no plans for, and based on an appraisal that comes in below the county's tax assessed value of $2.85 million. The city's current offer is only for $1.75. So again, we've got over $1 million difference between the city's current appraisal, which I think is incorrect for a number of reasons, and between what the county, the tax assessor, has been taxing this owner on for the past 5 years. One of the things that I wanted to talk about with regards to the appraisal, I have been told that this land was considered less valuable from the tax assessed value because it is office industrially zoned, as opposed to general commercial. And so because of the limitation on the commercial use, office, it has less value. However, notably, the appraisal that was provided to us from the city contains only 4 comparable land sales, 3 of which are residential in nature. They don't show any sort of office or commercial use and are at a lesser value than the office and commercial use of the property. The only commercial property within a commercial area is comparable sale number 4. It is 8 miles away from the airport. We are nearly adjacent to the airport. It sold in 2023, 2 years ago, but for some reason the appraiser adjusted that sale price down, almost $10,000 an acre, for no reason that we can find. If anything, it should be adjusted up for its distance away from a commercial corridor, for the 2 years that have passed since the date of that sale, and for other factors. However, applying just that high comparable sale, that 4th one that's the only commercial industrial area sale that's from the city's own appraiser, if you apply that unadjusted land price of $105,952 per acre to the 21.6 acres of the subject property, the value would be $2.288 million. Again, the city's offer is at 1.75. So we've got nearly $700,000 of difference between what is really the only comparable sale in the city's appraisal and what the property should be worth, according to both the county and our client. Because of these reasons, we would ask that the city not yet pass a resolution that we think is premature in nature. We would like time to conduct our own appraisal, which typically takes about 60 days. We have engaged an appraiser already and are working towards that diligently so that we can have actual and productive negotiations with the city for what this property should be valued at. And with that, I will yield my time back to the people who thankfully gave it to me.
Ma'am, I have a question. Who was the broker that made the offer to your client? Because I haven't seen any of the paperwork.
Sure, I have his email here. The broker's name is Mark, M-A-R-C-J, Corbett, C-O-R-B-E-T. His email is dated, and it was on email, it wasn't even official letterhead or a letter. His email is dated September 2nd, and we are only a little over 30 days from that initial offer.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
If anyone else wishes to speak in regard to this issue, the condemnation of 4122 Herschel Road.
I'm going to address the mayor and council.
Sir, wait,
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Washington, nope.
I didn't hear you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Steve Alexander, Ward 4, also a candidate for City Council for Ward 4. Now, as I recalled, I did watch the meeting concerning the transfer of the property over to College Park. In that meeting, I'm thinking that Mo Ivory has a reservation about, the citizens not being involved in the process, along with the 4-H, along with other people, other community activists. The question on the floor today is, who's involved in it besides the council? Because I have not seen any plans for this besides tonight. They got something on the screen tonight that the first time any of the citizens have seen this plan. And I think those questions has to be answered tonight before any consideration should be made. But I think this is very important to the citizens of College Park because we already done spent $10 million on this project. And the $10 million already been spent on the project, we hadn't seen one plan, we hadn't seen one study, we hadn't seen anything that has had any citizen input in this. So I would recommend tonight that, we don't pass this. We don't look at, we got to discuss it first. Table it, that's what we got to do. But I think that more citizens need to be involved in this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishes to speak on this matter, the condemnation of 4122 Herschel Road?
I don't know how much time she used.
Come on up. Madam Clerk, how much time is left in council for?
2 minutes and 37 seconds.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Again, yeah, I was at that meeting too and spoke up about this. And again,
I'm sorry, could you identify yourself?
oh, thank you. I'm Grace Lunsford. I'm a Ward 1 member in College Park resident. I don't know how often you guys put your feet on that land over there, but I do it bi-monthly with the Girl Scouts. 4-H has been an amazing partner with us. And since the beginning of being on that land 2 years ago now, I was heartbroken to see these cabins have trees falling down on them. The land is gorgeous. It is beautiful. I see your vision, but I think we all want to be included on it. This land might be important, but if you don't have public support, you guys might be making, again, another mistake where the public is going to be saying, what in the world? Why is this happening without our consideration? This is our money. We talk about wanting to help our people. And I'm here for you for the children in the future, 100%, but also sidewalks for the children in the future. And I know we've got some plans coming on that, and I'm very excited to see that. And thank you for communicating it. But that's also the consideration and outreach that needs to happen. 4-H has been kept in the dark about this. I consistently am there every other week and say, have you seen the plans yet? Have you seen the plans yet? When are we going to see these plans posted somewhere? There should be citizens sitting at the table. We should be putting a board together that has citizens involved. I'm not totally sure that the city government is really in the business of starting not-for-profits. And I hear that that's a part of the plan that's coming up too. So please, please hear us. We're not necessarily opposed to an investment like this, but without our consideration, it feels like a slap in the face. Thank you.
Thank you. If anyone else wishes to speak at this public hearing regarding the condemnation of 4122 Herschel Road, they may do so at this time. All right. Public hearing is closed.
Agenda item 2, consideration of and action on a request to approve a condemnation resolution for property located at 4122 Herschel Road for public use as a botanical garden.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion?
city attorney,
Councilmember Carn, did you wish to speak?
yes.
Okay, go right ahead.
Heard the discussion, so we got this appraised, everything, dotted the i's and crossed the t's on this?
Yes, sir, Councilman. And if you would, Mr. Washington, I believe he was going to make a statement as well that would kind of address what you've just raised.
Yes, I
Mr.
would
Washington,
like-
hold on.
Okay.
Mr. Washington, go right ahead.
Yes, I would like to address a couple of statements made by Ms. Ashland a moment ago concerning the appraisal and notices. We sent 2 separate notices to the owners to accompany the appraiser at the location to ask any questions, to be present, to tour the property. One was the 6th, one was sent on the 6th, one was sent later on August 20th. So the final walkthrough was on August 29th when the appraisal was completed. But there were 2 terms. The 29th was not the first notice. There were 2 opportunities for them to be present. They did not send anyone there. As far as our appraisal and what she recommended, what the county has valued the property at, the county is valued, like she stated correctly, but every appraiser that I've spoken with and even the agents that I've addressed this with have said commercial value is commercial property is valued higher than the office designation. And in addition, this particular property has some situations where it is the topography of the land makes it difficult for any real commercial use. These all attributed to the value that was placed on this property. We have been discussing this property with the owners since mid-July, late July, till the present. I personally have made offers to the general counsel for these owners concerning the value of this property. So this is not something that's only been done in the past 30 days. They have had approximately 90 days to get an appraisal done of their own to counter anything that we produced. And they still have that opportunity to do so before a petition is filed. So we have made sure that we carefully followed all of the necessary requirements by law, and we've complied with every single thing that's needed to be done to this point. Anyone have any
Councilmember Carn, do you have any
questions?
other questions?
No, not really. I remember years ago, this was Lyle Mall's property. I met that fella once, years ago in California, actually. And we've been hoping for year after year that they were gonna at some point do something with this property. But,
Yes, sir. Prior to this owner buying this property, someone had bought it and they were going to subdivide it into individual units to build townhomes. That proved to be not a feasible project. And from looking at topography, depending on what I've seen from the appraisal, this property has several issues. There's a floodplain that runs approximately diagonally through the property, making it hard to complete any kind of commercial structure on a particular property.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any further deliberation? All right, hearing none, I will close the discussion and deliberation. I think anytime we take someone's property, we've got to use the utmost care. And 3 months before taking someone's land doesn't sound like a lot of time. And we need to dot every I, cross every T, and I'm not sure that we have worked in true spirit to try to work with this landowner. This is sort of the tip of the iceberg in terms of concerns that I have about tonight's agenda, and we will get into it as we move along. But all those in favor of approving the condemnation resolution for property located at 4122 Herschel Road for public use as a botanical garden, say aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous amongst those present.
Next agenda item 3, public hearing for the 2025 urban redevelopment plan.
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Denmark?
Mayor and Council, it is my recommendation that we table this matter until the next meeting, the first meeting in November.
Mr. Denmark, why?
There are some legal questions that I want to answer prior to this body considering this matter.
So I would like you to ask to take a look into one of those questions, because OCGA, let me see, what is it? OCGA 366118B says, if the Urban Redevelopment Agency is authorized to transact business and exercise powers under this code section, the mayor, by and with the advice and consent of the local governing body, shall appoint a board of commissioners of the Urban Redevelopment Agency. So that sounds like I've got that power to do so. And I will make it clear, there is absolutely no way that I will ever appoint this council as the members of the Urban Redevelopment Agency. So if you could take a look into that particular issue. Is there a motion to table items 3, 4, and 5?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous amongst those present. And so that concludes our business at the workshop session. And so we'll see everybody at 7:30.